So, yesterday was a complete washout, as I'm sure you can see. Um, yeah, there's a lot of, yeah, I made one mistake after another. Um, it's too the same. There's nothing interesting. There's no good drawing, no. So, it's actually put me off drawing today, to be honest. That's another matter. What day is it? 23, 60, 23, 60, 7, 8, no, 6, 7. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, which will cut yours off just a little bit. We've hopped over to Windermere because that happened. Honestly, I don't like it that much. I even considered breaking out the acrylic paints yesterday and painting over the top of it. Just so then, when I look at my sketchbook, I don't have to look at it. Don't have to see it. It's kind of this constant reminder that, you know, how crap something can be if along the way you don't challenge it and then just get to the last stage. Like, this is utter rubbish. Can I fix it? Can I fix it? No. I probably won't put out that video. It was me becoming increasingly frustrated. And the problem goes back to the kind of the choice of what I was drawing. It's one of those, if you did it as a commission, you would go back and you would redraw it, you would try and find something interesting way of approaching it. Because in my sketchbook, it's just there. I did make it up to myself by doing 2 acrylic paints yesterday. This one's of Pendle Hill, and this one is a stonemason in Preston. And it's when things don't go right, sometimes, well, most of the time, that spurs me on to do something better. I guess with these being filmed, it's the kind of there's a pressure to do something good, and if it's that bad, you don't want to put that out into the world. You're only as good as your last painting, sort of thing. I guess that's the kind of problem I'm having. I don't feel like that's a very good painting, so. It's this idea that, you know, if I'm doing commissions, you want everything you put out there to look good. And sometimes things are just a flop. And there's stuff I can learn from that painting. It's very much about There's a lot to say about the drawing. We are getting to the stage where with a lot of these pens, we're kind of, this one at least is almost empty. Not because I purposely choose it more than any of the others, it's just it's that way. It's like this pink one. I do have instead pink Posca sign. Yesterday I was also thinking about an affordable way to practice doing gouache paintings. Because it was fun doing that as a challenge last week, where I was in a meeting and painted live in the meeting. And gouache worked quite well for that, because you can make subtle adjustments. Kind of, it's a lot like watercolour. Yeah, it was interesting to do. So I've been looking at different materials that we could use. I mean, I've got this grey board here, but it's really absorbent, even with several layers of like gesso on. It's still probably a touch absorbent to be painted. So I looked instead at getting like mountboard offcuts. And I couldn't help but thinking they were expensive. Because for £30 you're getting 100 by 4 offcuts. So I sat down and worked out what the price, how many, because that was in square inches. I ended up doing the whole lot in square inches because I don't know. Slightly smaller number than millimetres squared, I guess. Definitely. Than square centimetres as well. You're getting a small number, anyways. So I worked out that this, offcuts of mountboard. So it's the stuff that they throw away from in the middle of doing pictures for picture framing. They were charging £30 for 100. So I worked it out it's square inches because then I could compare apples for apples for all papers. Didn't include the price of gesso because I was gessoing anything I was using anyways for acrylics. And so I sat down and worked it out. These offcuts that you'd expect to be cheap worked out the most expensive surface to be working on. Pull it across. So, so down here is the gesso. It works out as 80 square inches per pound money, per pound of money. And up at the top here is some cartridge paper that I found, which is insanely cheap. I usually buy from my cartridge paper from Artsaver, which works out at £65 per 500 sheets of A3. But this other supplier was selling 100 sheets for £5.99, so it's under half the price. It doesn't make any sense. Cup cycle paper's more expensive, blah blah blah. So the mount board offcuts are more expensive than buying Fabriano Artistico watercolour paper. Are more expensive than using things like hardboard and everything. Well, everything. Yeah. It's not the finished. That's fine. That's not the finished chart by any means, but it was interesting to look at. Has it helped me make a decision? No. I want to try out using some what's it? I want to try using some Bristol board because I've never tried Bristol board. And that might be an interesting alternative. It might not. I've never tried it. So it's one of those things that I can try out for less than £10. It doesn't really help with what I'm doing in any of my work at the moment. Just, I don't know. Like I say, I've been stretching cartridge paper. Kind of using that once it's gessoed to do acrylic paintings. I just want something that's a bit more. I think with the gouache, I'll probably use watercolour paper because I have quite a bit of different watercolour papers. But yeah, it's like I said on other social media, I'm a bit of a nerd. So when it comes to, and I do cost analysis for like when I'm making pottery to just see if it's possible to make something and break even. Similar sort of thing, add up all the material, add up. Like I said for years, the material costs are negligible compared to the costs of, well, at least they were until we had an increase in energy costs. So like clay, slips, blah 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 were always quite affordable, but after the energy crisis, it's really pushed up the price of biomaterials for clays. Everything's gone up. And then the biggest cost for me as a maker has always been my time. And that's only got worse. Because one of the problems is my time has to be able to pay, household bills stuff as well, which just shut up. Sorry, I can't quite see what that is. Still no idea what this is. It's a squiggle. You know, I need to be able to make more money to just keep the lights on. Well, the cost of firing a kiln's shot up. It makes me less wanting to engage with the process of baking ceramics, because nothing sells. I sell more paints than I sell pottery, and I've done for since I actually launched the paint business. Weirdly, it's launched at the beginning of last year, beginning of 2021. With offering this in memory of my grandmother, and that actually picked me up a lot of local attention. And more so than ever making pottery had for me. which coming along. And one of the main reasons I feel like a black is just, I guess it's the ability to draw. Doesn't help, but kind of sitting here trying to, when I paint acrylics, to be quite back brush. Even at the same sort of scale, I just but, much harder in acrylic. It's much easier in acrylic to hide a bad drawing. In watercolour, your drawing's always on show. I can in theory paint without making I can paint without making an underdrawing, but just I don't know, I do a good job, and I still feel like a lot of what I'm doing is very yeah. Need to spend more time drawing. I still don't feel like I know what it is I want to paint. There's a 1/4 inch sword line, so it has a curve to it. It's, it's not a flat brush. It's not a pointy brush. It doesn't look. It goes to really fine. There's some watercolour artists that just use these. Because you can quickly go from kind of those broad marks to making while carrying one brush around with you. You do have to be more, precise, which I'm not great at. In all seriousness, though, what do people want to hear when you paint it? I don't actually know. That's why the videos I just didn't talk at all, because I don't actually know what to talk about. I don't really see a lot of people tend to. It's only me. Well, I say it's only me. My wife's there. We don't talk. So. My friends aren't the art business. I do spend time with artists. I don't know what to talk to them about either, so it's I just paint, I just make, whatever it is, I like to just get on with it. And I'm aware that in the world of, YouTube and social media, people like to hear people talk. I spent most of my life being quiet. If I didn't have kids, then I would probably go much longer without talking to folk. wasn't much better when I was out working. I don't know. Too grey, and this building here is bloody brown. It's it's like a stone building. It's like a natural stone building, and it's a mixture of so many colours. I mean, it kind of looks similar to that on there, but when you get up close, it's like, you know, blues and reds and ochres and all sorts of lovely colours, and it just feels so unsatisfying. I hated that colour. So from one really crap painting to one not quite as crap painting, but it still feels crap. It's the same, it's the drawing, it's the application of the paint. It just feels a bit flat. I'll put this out there, but I don't know. I don't know. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. I'll try to do a better one then. Bye.